Okay, so let's go back to what I was saying. So I did not. Okay, let's see what her orange look like. She got this kind of orange. What she gave me? Tartar sauce? I guess that's for the shrimps. I thought I said 3 shrimps. She gave me 4, I think. Let me see. We had 3 fried shrimps. She gave me 4. Cornmeal and banana. Okay, let's see what this tastes like. So let me go into what I'm saying. Did she give me a spoon? So, she gave me some more tartar sauce. I never was crazy about tartar sauce. Let's put this over me. Ooh, nice one. Okay, so how I became homeless, right? This is 2018. Well, actually, it's 2018 into 2019. I think there was a reason why I was saying that, because I was going to saying something about the homeless part, telling you not to sign nothing. God is great and God is good, and we thank Him for our food. By His hand must be faith, give me all the daily bread. Jesus, worship us, amen. I wonder if Tracy ate this. He not one for too much mushy stuff. He don't like mushy stuff. He'll eat grits, but if I remember correctly, he liked his grits to be, what you call it? What's the word? Kind of have like hardness to it. Oh, look at y'all, I got my baby here. Don't look bad, right? Okay, so So, 2015, the landlord went to the courts and put it in the courts that they wanted us out. She wanted us out. Because my landlord was female. So, I received the paper in the mail that I was petitioned to the courts, right? About vacating the apartment. So I had to go to the courts and I don't know, it's answer. I think that's what they call it. You gotta answer it. So I went to the court and answered it. I had to fill out some papers and write out why I didn't can't leave the apartment or give up the apartment, whatever. It didn't have anything to do with rent, right? So we got our court date. We went in front of the judge. Everybody had to go. So even though Tracy was handicapped, we had to get him in that Access-a-Ride and get him there. I'm trying to think if he was in a wheelchair. No, I don't think he had a. He probably had a wheelchair, but we wasn't using it because he can walk. So yeah, he was walking then. Back in 2015, he was walking. So okay, so we saw the judge. They were saying this, saying that, and saying the other. They would say, Miss Jordan, they asked him how long would they give us to leave out. Because I was telling him, I said, well, I can't just get up and leave. I said, y'all see my husband. I said, I'm in Section 8. It's not like I got money to just go and pay off an apartment and go move. So they said, how much time that you think you need? So she said, okay, you go and you talk to the attorneys or the whatever you call that, whatever word they use. Y'all come together and y'all figure out how y'all want to do this. And then y'all come back to me. She said, I'm adjourning and I'm going to give y'all another day. So all this was in 2015. Now, before 2015, we've been to the courts and all that stuff, but 2015 was the doozy. Right? So they've been trying to get us out for a long time. But God was always on our side because the reasons why they was trying to get us out was not my fault. You see what I'm saying? So as long, we use this as a backup. As long as I was doing the right thing and doing what God say do, the devil plans was not going to go into effect. Only what God wanted to go into effect was going into effect. So now, when God allows the enemy tactics to work against his saints, that means that the saints have fell back a little bit, if not a whole lot, out of the will of God. As long as you're still in God's will, as people always say, you may make a mistake, you may do this, you may do that, etc., etc. But anything that I got myself into, you can guarantee you that I didn't know about it. It was not intentionally done. Because anything that is wrong, I can intentionally do wrong. If it's wrong and I don't know it's wrong, and God knows it's wrong, the Holy Ghost is going to let me know. Now, let me flip the page a bit. Now, I just said that whatever I do that I don't know, God won't allow the enemy. It's not wrong. It's just in the perspective of law, government, city things that I don't know about. So I may do something that is against, not so much against the law, but against the policies or against the contract or against the little fine papers or the fine print or whatever that I didn't take the time to read, that I didn't take the time to look at, or I didn't take the time to ask the questions about. So when it comes up to me, it's not going to look like I intentionally did it. So God will come to my aid and bring me out of it. So that's how it was. So a lot of things that was coming up in the court, all them other times, was based on situations that I didn't know about, right? So them witches can tear up these shrimps, no lie. This place where I got the streams, I don't too much mess with their food, because every time I buy their food, I want them not eating this. So, yeah. So we in court. The lawyers get together, but I ain't had no lawyer. Now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't have no attorney. I think the attorney came into play. Maybe I did. So, anyway. So now, they asked me, could I be out the apartment? Let me say that was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Could I be out the apartment? I think 2000. I think they gave me like a 2-year span or something. Yeah, my lawyer was there because he was trying to get me. Their lawyer was trying to get me out. They were saying I only had 6 months to a year. And my lawyer was telling me, now, Ms. Jordan, think about it. You may agree upon it now, whatever, because you want to, like, get out of it. You want to come out the courts, you don't like the presence. He said, but just think about it. It's not going to take you a year or 2 years to get out of the apartment. Because it's not you paying for the apartment. It's not you getting the rent for the apartment. It's just you finding an apartment. And you need a 4-bedroom. That time we had a 3-bedroom. He said, and if you go for a 4-bedroom, no. He said, it's not going to be easy for you to find an apartment. He said, so I would tell you to take at least 3 years. So that's 2015, 16, 17, 18. He said, at least take 2 years. That's what it was, 2 years. Take 2 years. Because I stayed in the apartment longer than I was supposed to. And when I went back to the judge, okay, before we get into that. So, fine enough. Okay, 2 years. 2 years, 6 months. That's what it was. So their lawyer was like, you sure you're going to be out in 2 years? I said, yeah, 2 years. I should be able to find me. I don't know. Right? So I put my signature in front of the judge. The judge had the papers typed up or whatever. And said, okay, Ms. Jordan. Well, actually, the lawyer had it. So I signed my name on it, and I think everybody of 18 years of age had to sign. Right? So that was Tracy. It was myself, Tracy, Mary. I think Danielle. Right? So that's 4 adults, of course. So we signed it and stuff like that because they took my signature, because I think everybody was there but Mary that day. So everybody signed but Mary. So they said, their lawyer said, okay, we're going to present it to the judge and see if the judge accepts it without that signature. Other than that, we're going to have to meet up with your daughter, and she's going to have to sign it, and then we'll come back. I'll see if I can just come, and y'all don't have to come like that. All right. So they went before the judge. The judge would not accept it. He said, all right, I'll accept the other signatures, but you have a time frame, maybe 2 weeks, to get Miss Mary Jordan's signature. And then you, the family does not have to come, but Miss Jordan, you'll have to come. And we'll present it in front of me again with everybody's signature on it. And I'm trying to think if he said, since you're the head of the household, you come and you'll be responsible for all the other signatures. So then if y'all not out, she explained to me, she said, if y'all not out by this particular time, then you must understand that the landlord can bring you back to court and you will have to vacate the apartment. Oh, sure, no problem. Because I knew I was going to get out of there in 2 years. God on my side. Yes, I'm getting out of there. Two years and 6 months I had. I was looking and looking and looking. Unfortunately, I ain't find nothing. But I wasn't looking. I was just looking. Okay, so I was like, okay. Now the 2 years and 6 months come up. Every now and then they will come, the landlord, the super would come and say, Ms. Jordan, did you find anything yet? Is there any luck with the apartment? I'd be like, no, not yet. And I was just nonchalant about it because I don't want all the other cases in the courtroom. You see how you become satisfied? Instead of me doing what I was supposed to do. See, this is what I'm saying. The spirit of right and wrong, right? Instead of doing the right thing, I became complacent because of past experiences, how God fought my battle. And this is what I mean when I said that God is tired of people using him. So in the aspect, I was using him. Oh, he's always there. He helped me out all this time. Nothing happened. I had a lot of issues with this landlord. Everything always seemed to work out for the best. Not knowing that they was at a place that they was tired of us and they wanted us out of their apartment. It wasn't like a managed building. You come in here and stay as long as you want, as long as you pay the rent. You see, they could care less what's going on in the building because they don't know what's going on in the building unless a tenant let them know. Or they come and inspect, like Section 8 inspect. That's the only way they can find out that something is going on in an apartment, especially a Section 8 apartment. I'm glad I got Section 8, and I would never lose it or try to lose it or let anything happen where I can use it. Because if anything goes down that ain't right with these landlords, I can dial up my Section 8 worker. Right? So, okay, that being said, okay, so I became complacent. In a sense, I stopped looking. You know, I wasn't even saying I'm looking for an apartment. I didn't tell nobody I was looking for no apartment. Whoever I felt like I was talking to, and it just came across my mind. Oh, you know anybody with an apartment? Da, 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 da. No, that's it. Right? Well, I got a rude awakening when I received the paper in the mail stating that you got to go back to court and vacate the apartment. This is 2018 now. Now I'm getting scared. I'm like Adam and Eve now, and I'm hiding in the bushes somewhere because God told me what to do. The people told me what to do. I knew what I was supposed to do, and I didn't do it. So, in other words, I can't go to God asking God, oh, God, help me now. Don't let them kick me out. Well, I ain't going to lie. I was praying that prayer, but it didn't make a difference because he was like, it's time for you to wake up. You're using me. Well, you know. That's what he was saying. I didn't get it then. So, went on to the court. Gets to the court. The judge says to me, Miss Jordan, is these y'all signature? Yes, ma'am, it is. Did I not tell you? See, and that's the thing with family court, right? And I guess it's the way with any kind of court thing. You know, I never been consistent in criminal court or whatever, but I've been consistent in family court, so I know the judges by face. And every time I went to see the judge, it was always the same judge. So I was hoping I got a different judge. I would say, maybe I get a different judge, and he'll be like, all right. So I came with the papers for the rent, stating that public assistance was going to pay off anything that was owed to them. I got a payment tomorrow. Oh, my goodness. Now, public assistance was going to pay off whatever's owed to them. I was trying to be, you know, I was being nice, whatever. Even though I was always being nice, but I was like being extra nice. But it didn't matter. It was set, my signature set things in stone. So it was nothing I could do. And the judge told me. She ain't telling me then, when I sign the papers, except for your signatures on here, and you have to vacate the apartment when the time is out, whether you found one or not. You understand? I was like, yeah. She ran that back to me. So you remember I asked you that, and then you said yes. Yeah. You said, so now it's in effect. If you had, this is what she told me. She said, if you had it came before or on the time of the deadline, she said I could have did something. She said, because I know it was going to take you more than 2.5 years to find an apartment, because you got a handicapped husband. So you have to find something to accommodate him for now and in the future. And I'm saying to myself, why didn't you say this to me before? But I guess they can't lead, in so many words, you can't lead the witness. I guess that's what they mean in the court when they say, I object, Your Honor, the offendant is leading the witness, like that. So now I understand. So they couldn't really put things in my head. If anything, my lawyer could have told me that. But since the lawyer's working for them, he ain't gonna tell me nothing. Because then if he tell me that he ain't gonna get the good money, then he would. Anyway. So I went on. She told me that. I was like, okay. She said, since your name, or your names, but mainly your name, because you are the head of the household. She said, since your name is on these papers, that means that you acknowledge, as well as the rest of the signatures, acknowledge what was supposed to be done. So therefore, there's nothing I can do. So she said, what's the word? Ballot or something, whatever the person is that worked with her. She said, I want you to see if you can find apartments or something for Mr. Jordan. So she was looking out for my husband instead of me. They find a place for him, and she said, Miss Jordan, y'all will have to find a place to stay. Y'all have to vacate, and we're giving you to June the 1st. And let me see, what was that? May? I think that was April. So the 2015, 16, 17, it was 2 years and 6 months. So January, up until about January, February, March, April, May, June. Up until June, yeah. So that was April. So she gave us to June the 1st. April, May, June. So she gave us 2 extra months, because we was already there in over a year. Because we went back to court 2018. Like, we went to court we went to, not 2018, we went to court in 2017. So December, January, February, no. That had to be April, yeah. It was April of 2018, and she gave us to June the 1st. To get out there. Say you got up to June the 1st to vacate, and if you're not vacated by then the marshal will come and remove you and your stuff. Such and such, like Mr. Jackson, you make sure you find a place in due time, and that will accommodate Mr. Jordan. They wasn't putting Mr. Jordan out in no street. So I sat down, and I'll be honest with you, I really thought my husband was gonna go for it. I thought my husband was gonna go for it and get him a place. I mean, I was fine with it. You know what I'm saying? I was fine with it, but I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I was kind of scared, because I was looking at, okay, his money paid the rent. I was totally forgetting that his money was an add-on. His money wasn't the sole. His money wasn't the sole money on my Section 8 contract. My money was the sole money. Right. Oh, and that's the reason why I guess I was trying to figure out why I was not making him the head of the household, because his money would have been the sole amount So welfare would have been considered a second income in the household if he was the main income. But that's what I was thinking, that his money was the main income. His money was what paying the rent. Now, if he leave, then we all messed up. I mean, my mind was crazy back then. I wasn't even looking or depending on the Lord. I was in my own little world. Everything was based on how I see it and how I want it done. And people were scaring me and everything. So I went, right? So now you can bet you a fat man with his wife that I started looking for me a place. It didn't make no sense because I knew I wasn't going to find nothing in 2 years. So I said, well, I went and sat down. I talked with him. No, I went and sat down and talked with everybody. I had a GM meeting, and I told them the outcome of the situation. They was like, so, Mommy, we got to move? I said, yeah, we got to move. I said, well, where we moving to? Well, we ain't got no place to move to, so we got to go into the shelter. And you know what? God allowed everybody to be on the same page. Everybody to be on the same page. Now that I'm thinking about it, everybody had to be at the courts. Mary had to show up that day because Mary was working. So Mary had to show up that day because her signature was on that paper. And we couldn't move forward unless everybody that had their signature on that paper was there. Now the kids didn't have to show up. But of course we brought the kids, like where the kids was going to stay at. Right? So we, I had to talk with them, and I told them, I said, listen, we gotta go in the system, we gotta go in the shelter. I said, so we have no other choice. I want everybody, whoever don't want to go in, I said, y'all can leave. I said, because I'm going. I have no place to stay, so I have to go. They had their friends. They can go hang out with this person. I said, I ain't got nobody to go hang out with. I said, I got to keep a roof over my heads. I said to Tracy, I said, you can go on. I said, they're going to give you information. You're going to give me information for you. I'll search it up. I'll look it up, and I'll get you there and make sure you settled into your place, everything in place for you, and then I'm going about my business. You know, that's what he was looking at. That's what he was thinking. He ain't want to be by himself. I was thinking, you got the responsibility of getting, no, you got the best offer because you can get in the best buildings. You can get you a home. Mary can take care of you in your own apartment. In honesty, that's the second apartment I can go to when I don't feel like being bothered in mine. You know, he ain't go for that. No, He said, well, I made a decision. I was thinking about it. Because I already said in my head that he was leaving. Because he would always say to me, oh, I'm going to go back to California. I'm going to go back with my family. I'm going to be with my family. And I would always tell him, go ahead, be with your family. You already seen how your family treated you. You forgot. I stayed with your family for 6 months. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For 5 months. Because I left California and came back to New York when I was 8 months and a half pregnant. And I went there when I was 3. 3 months. No half. 3 months. I said, so you forgot I lived there. I saw how your family treated you. Saw how they treated me. There was no kind of connection at all with them, with you. And once your mama found out I was pregnant, that connection that me and her had, disconnected. She ain't had nothing else to say to me. I said, so you can go wherever you're going. Don't make me no different. I'm going to do me. So I guess it kind of like got everybody, and I guess, you know, the responsibility of being on your own ain't funny unless you ready for it. You got to be really prepared to be on your own, to be on your own. Otherwise, you going to come up against a lot of obstacles that if you don't know how to handle, it's going to throw you into drugs. It's going to throw you into alcoholism. It's going to throw you into drug dealing. It's going to throw you into stealing. And then you're going to wind up either as a criminal or you're going to wind up homeless for the rest of your life. Because you done lost all your information to prove that you have an identity. That's why a lot of people is homeless today. Because their identity is gone. So they only who they are. You hear a lot of stories about, oh, I was a doctor, I was this. They lost all those credentials. When whatever happened, happened. Whether good or bad. I ain't judging nobody because things happen in people's lives that comes unexpected, just like mine. The judge told me, you got to get up out that apartment in 2 months. If you ain't out there, you in the street. Now, if I didn't have the mind and didn't allow God to let me see, how can I say? If I didn't have the mind and went on my own little merry way and didn't have trust and faith in God based on how I was raised, I would have been home. My family probably would have been wherever they was going. They probably did what they was to do. And I would have been walking the street like y'all see some of these young people. Knowing, and I'll be sitting down telling my story. Yeah, I was saved. I was evangelist. I was a missionary. Oh, I had it going good. Maybe I didn't have a job, but I had it good. I had a family. I had a husband. Don't know where nobody is. Now that I'm saying that, I'm not saying that my family my children wouldn't have took care of me. But I'm speaking from my mind. Not looking for them to take care of me because I already experienced what I experienced with them. So I'm not thinking them to take care of me. Look out for mommy. No. Like I'm, Making a long story short, I was trying to wait and see if I get any response from anybody before I actually set out. Dad, this thing, look, that's the most I ate. And y'all see me sitting here. Okay. So, in the meeting, everybody was saying, we're not going nowhere, Mama. My husband said, nope, I'm going with you. My girl, Mary said, I'm going with you. Me and the kids going right with you, Mommy. Who else it was? Daniel said, I'm going with you. Me and Lizzie going right with you, Mommy. I said, all right. So we're going to take this bull by the horn and we're going to do this. So I started putting the preparation of moving into play. So I had to call storage places. And it was so crazy. See, God already knew what was going to take place. So even before we went into court, even before anything went down in this 2015 ordeal, right? I would go to the welfare and people be standing there with cards for moving. And I'll be saying to myself, I ain't moving nowhere. I said, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it just in case I need you. And that's the storage people that I use each time I moved. Okay, so now it's coming time that this is what I got to do. I went and pulled that card out and I called them up and they gave me the instructions of how to move on public assistance. So I had to go down to public assistance. I had to take the court paper stating that I had to move. So they had to stop the rent and all that stuff, right? Had to take it down to Section 8 and let Section 8 know I was moving, right? And Section 8 had to give me a voucher to transfer, just like I'm doing now. So, and this is by courts. So in the process of them giving me the voucher to move, they upgraded, which I already worked on it. But they upgraded. In that process, I went through the upgrade to a 4-bedroom apartment, right? So that my husband can get his own room. No. Why did I get a 4-bedroom apartment? I'm trying to see. It wasn't because of my husband. Maybe it was because of him. Maybe it was. But anyway, we got approved for the 4-bedroom apartment. So I went, got it all set up. I started getting boxes, and we've been at that apartment from 2003. So we was there for about 15 years. So we went getting boxes from places. Everybody knew us in the immediate area. And they be like, what you getting a box for? We moving. They be like, what? Some people was crying, some people was hugging us. But we cool people. I ain't gonna lie, we cool people. Not bragging on myself and my family, but we cool people, We will be missed. You said there's no way you interact with the Jordans and don't be missed. Because we are a family straight from the Lord. So our upbringings and my upbringing to my children and their personality and our humor, we're very humorous on both sides. My husband is funny and I'm funny, so you put us together, we're hilarious. So, when you interact with us, we try to make you feel good. We try to help you out. I teach my children how to be loving and compassionate to someone. The difference with them and me, since I'm saved, which I don't fault them because how they are, I was, that, when people do things to me, I disconnect myself from them. But the difference between me and them, I don't stop loving them. I still love them with God. With them, you do something to them, you hurt them, or you betray them, or you just do something ill to them. That's it. They ain't gonna be bothered with you. They gonna put you in the back burner. Not the back shelf, the back burner. And you just gonna sit there and sizzle. I mean, that's the way I'm putting it. But other than that, we're friends for life. You ain't got to worry about, we will be there with you through thick and thin. And we made it. Okay, we mean it just like that. So now, with that being said, go on. I got the furniture set up. I got the movers in set. I done went down to the post office. I got all the moving papers. They gave me a package, all of that. I was receiving stuff in the mail from the postal service, and the papers we had to fill out, put the new address on it, everybody had to fill out one. Every adult had to fill out one. And then I had to take it back. No, I had to mail it, right? I mean, I think you have the option to take it if you choose to, but I think I went and mailed it on. So we went on up there in that shelter. We got up in the shelter, and that is my reason. We got up in the shelter. We went through the procedures that we had to go through, and the housing assistant is the one that helped me find this apartment. And that's why it was kind of hard for me to find an apartment, because I never really looked for one. I never really looked for one. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of my apartments I got through the system in the shelter. The only one that I actually looked for was the 183 Malcolm X when I was living there. I was moving. Where was I moving? How did I get to 183? Oh, I moved from Saddam Street to 183. So that was the apartment that I looked for. I looked for it. I didn't go through it with a broker, nothing. It was me going to the landlord, to the landlord. I called up him, and he told me about the apartment, and I came. Or I got it. See, if y'all remember back in the days, you were going into the the newspaper that had apartments on. I forgot about that. They had apartments. They didn't have too much brokers. I mean, you could go through broker and you would see broker's fee. So whenever I would see a broker's fee, I wouldn't get it. So I went through all that procedures, and that's how I got here, from the shelter to here. Right? But what I want to tell y'all is, when it comes to the court and papers, whether it's dealing with family court, whether it's dealing with child support, whether it's dealing with criminal court, whatever it is. Do not put your signature on anything, any legal document, because it becomes binding. That's why I was told through different courses of through different situations of my life, to write down whatever situations that I'm in, that I'm having, so when I come to court, I can present that document. Because anything you write and date is considered evidence, whether somebody's signature is on or not. So if I say I paid rent such and such a time, and I go get it notarized, that's a smart thing to do. But let's say you didn't get it notarized, but you put a date on it, and you put your signature on it. And if you can get the person to put their signature on it, to state that they did see that document and they did give you, or you did give them that money or whatever, when it comes up in the court of law, even though it's a piece of paper, the judge is going to go for it. But you put your name on anything, it's binding you into that contract. And years later, they can bring that up against you, and you're stuck. Whether by the time it's brought up in the year that it's brought up, it can be illegal, whatever you put your name on, and you can go to jail for it. So I learned my lesson. I went to jail for different things at one time that involved somebody else. But because it was within my house, I suffered the consequences. So that's my video of how I became homeless. And do not sign your name on anything without reading it or without being for sure. If you know 2 years from now, 10 years from now, you know you don't know whether whatever it is they asking you to do or say or go, you know for surety 10 years from now, you don't know whether that's going to be able to be done, because you don't know where you're going to be at. And don't put your name on it. They had said to me, just throw this in, they had said to me I had to fill out a paper and get Tracy's signature for me to be his caregiver for a certain amount of time. So they said, well, you got to put a time on there. I said, well, I'm going to be his caregiver for as long as he lives. Well, you got to put a date. I said, how am I going to put a date? I don't know how long he's going to live. They said, well, Miss Jordan, I understand, but you got to put a date there. So I put such and such to 2059. What could they say? They couldn't even say, well, Miss Jordan, you ain't going to live that. He ain't going to live that long. Y'all told me to put a date. But they didn't say, they didn't ask no questions. So just for future reference, don't put your names on nothing that y'all not sure about. Do what you need to do what you got to do, and do what you're supposed to do, so that you won't be caught up in situations that you don't need to be caught up in. God is able to bring us through, but he don't want us to be dumb and naive and stupid, because he ain't got no stupid sense. No matter how much people want to think, saved folks are stupid. I'm using it literally, stupid. We're not. We're not. Which disciples it was? There was one of the disciples, Moses. I think it was Moses. I mean, he wasn't a disciple, but, he was a follower of God. He did what God said. But he asked the Lord. He said, I want you to go and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Ain't nobody going to pay attention to me, Lord. Who am I? I'm sending you. But there was a disciples, I think, that was illiterate, that didn't too much know how to read or anything. I got to look into it and see who it was, if I'm correct. If anybody know, can you comment his name, please, or her name? No, his name. And if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But I'm thinking in the back of my mind that there was someone, disciples of God that was illiterate, that could not read, that did not know stuff. It could have been the fishermen's, because that's all they did in their life was fish. So that was Simon Peter, the brother James too. But I ain't going to put no L on none of them because I really don't remember. But don't even worry about it. You be illiterate. You're not illiterate to God. Once you get the Holy Ghost, you got God's knowledge. You are a professor. You can go on and teach somebody now. And ain't got no degree in the natural aspect, but you got a degree in the spiritual aspect. So to be honest, you're smarter than everybody that got a degree. Now, they may be smarter than you in the degree that they're in, but you're smarter than them in the degree, in the spiritual aspect. So don't let nobody put y'all down. Don't let nobody tell you nothing like you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. People used to say, oh, you think you better than me. You know what the Lord told me? And I'm noticing now that people don't say that to me anymore. Because they used to say it to me and I used to tell them. This is what the Lord told me. People used to tell me that. Say, you think you better than me. You ain't no better than me. You think you God. Da-da-da-da-da. Who you think you is? You ain't nobody, right? I was sitting in my room crying, talking to the Lord, praying to the Lord. And the Lord just put in my spirit, just as plain as I'm talking to you. You are better than them because you know me and they don't. Whoa, you talking about somebody that was like, wait a minute, let me put my ear back there. Hold up. What you say, Lord? What you say, Lord? I am better than them because I know you and you know me. And they don't know who you are. Therefore, they don't know who I am in you. That was deep. So I'm going to transport the same information back to you. You got God in your life, completely in your life. I ain't talking about no tater-tot tongues. I'm talking about their Pentecostal tongues, straight from heaven. You got that comforter that I was talking about yesterday that say he will not leave you comfortless. He said, I will come to you. You got that type of Holy Ghost in you. You are better than the next person. Just like Jesus was better than them. And that's why they felt some way about Jesus, because they felt like Jesus was trying to put himself up above them. And in some aspects, Jesus did that because Jesus knew his job, knew what he went there for, and he was dying for them same devilish people. So he considered himself, You come along here. My house is a house of prayer, and you have made it a den of thieves. How dare you? Get on out of here. That's why I would never, ever dispute somebody whipping somebody. Somebody letting somebody know how they feel about some foolishness that they doing. Somebody telling them, you know what, you need to shut up and go sit down somewhere. I would never dispute it. Because Jesus made that whip and whipped them people out of his temple. And these was adults. I wish I could have been there. I would have been cracking up. These are adults he beating. He went and threw over the tables. So we get up in there. I get up in there and go walk over to them. They having the ties and all. I just go in. Y'all stealing people money. Get out of here. God, take all the money, just throw it. Get on out of here. God don't want it. Because it's tainted. All right, with that being said, be blessed. God bless you. Bye.